What if consciousness isn't just a byproduct of the brain, but something more profound? This is the question that kickstarts our spiritual showdown today. Picture this: Joe Rogan, podcasting maestro, sitting across from three of the most influential spiritual thinkers of the 20th century. No, they didn't arrive on flying rugs or teleport in. Well, at least not as far as we know. First up, we have the Zen master himself, Alan Watts. He's the type of guy who can make you question your entire existence with a single sentence. He's the Yoda of the philosophy world, minus the green skin and weird syntax. But don't let his calm demeanor fool you. Beneath that tranquil surface lies a mind that could give a quantum physicist a run for his money. Next, we have Ram Dass. He's like the Santa Claus of spirituality, always spreading love and compassion wherever he goes. His eyes twinkle brighter than a disco ball at a 70s party. They say he can heal a broken heart with a single smile. He's the guy you want around when life hands you lemons and you've run out of sugar. And finally, we have Terence Mckenna. He's the Indiana Jones of the conscious world, always pushing the boundaries and exploring the uncharted territories of the mind. His voice is deeper than the Mariana Trench and just as mysterious. He's convinced that humanity is on the brink of a major evolutionary leap, and he's got the theories to back it up. These three are about to embark on a mind-bending journey through the realms of consciousness, spirituality, and the role of psychedelics in human evolution. They're like the three musketeers of metaphysics, ready to challenge the status quo and blow your mind in the process. So, grab your cosmic compass and prepare for a wild ride. We're diving headfirst into the rabbit hole, exploring the great beyond, and swimming in the ocean of the unknown. Well, strap in, folks. It's about to get really metaphysical in here. So, Alan, you're up first. Why should we abandon our Netflix binges and live in the present moment? Alan Watts clears his throat and begins, well, imagine you're a squirrel, right? But not your average garden variety squirrel. Oh no, you're a squirrel that's chugged 5 cups of espresso. You're darting here, there, everywhere, completely oblivious to the world around you. That's us, in a nutshell, pun very much intended. We're the caffeinated squirrels of the human world, darting from one distraction to another. Whether it's our phones, our work, or yes, even our Netflix binges. He pauses, letting that image sink in, before continuing. Now imagine that squirrel, but instead of bouncing off the walls, it's sitting still, completely immersed in the moment. It's not worried about where the next acorn is coming from, or if the dog next door is planning an ambush. That squirrel is living in the present moment. And let me tell you, it's a lot happier for it. Alan leans back, a twinkle in his eye as he delivers the punchline. So, why should we abandon our Netflix binges and live in the present moment? Because, my dear Joe, I'd wager even a squirrel hopped up on caffeine would prefer a serene moment in the park to the 6th rerun of The Office. There's a moment of silence before he adds, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently wrong with distractions. But when these distractions start to distract us from our own lives, then perhaps it's time we take a step back and ask ourselves, are we living or are we just existing? He finishes with a flourish. The present moment, it's the only moment we've got. It's the only moment that's real. The past is a ghost, the future is a dream. But the present is a gift. That's why it's called present, right? In other words, trade the remote for a Zen garden. Got it, Alan? All right, Ram Dass, you're on. Can love really conquer all, or is that just a Hallmark card slogan? Now, folks, picture this. Ram Dass, with his beard as white as a snowflake and his eyes twinkling like the North Star on a clear night, leans forward and says, well, Joe, love is a lot like Wi-Fi. It's omnipresent, and if it's strong enough, it can penetrate even the thickest of walls. There's a pause, then a burst of laughter. Not just any laughter, mind you, but the kind of laughter that says, I've just been tickled by a feather of wisdom. Ram continues, seriously though, love is more powerful than we give it credit for. It's not just about chocolates, roses and cheesy movie scenes. It's the connective tissue of the universe, the golden thread that weaves us all together. Joe, ever the inquisitive interviewer, raises an eyebrow. So, you're saying love is like a universal Wi-Fi connection and we're all just trying to find the password? Ram chuckles. Well, Joe, the password is simpler than you think. It's compassion. The conversation takes a deeper turn as Ram delves into the transformative power of love. He talks about how love can break down barriers, heal wounds, and bridge divides. He speaks about how compassion is the key to unlocking the power of love, comparing it to the software update that fixes all the bugs in your system. Think about it, Ram says. When you approach the world with love and compassion, you're not just changing your own experience, you're also changing the world around you. It's like upgrading your Wi-Fi connection from dial-up to fiber optic. As Ram wraps up his thoughts, Joe leans back, a thoughtful expression on his face. So, love is the best antivirus software for the soul. Noted, Ram. And with that, they move on to the next topic, leaving the listeners with a newfound appreciation for the power of love and a good Wi-Fi connection. Terence, you're the anchor. Can we really evolve past our current limitations? Or are we just sophisticated monkeys? Joe Rogan asks, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. Terence Mckenna leans back, a mischievous glint in his eye. Well, Joe, he begins, we're certainly more than apes with fancy hats. When you look at human evolution, it's like the most convoluted software update you've ever seen. He chuckles. Think about it. We started as Homo habilis, which is basically humanity 1.0. Then we went through a series of patches and updates, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, and so on, until we reached Homo sapiens, which is us. Humanity 1.8, let's say. Terence pauses for a moment, letting the absurdity of the analogy sink in. Now we're on the brink of the next big update, Humanity 2.0. But unlike a software update, this isn't about adding new features or fixing bugs. It's about evolving past our current limitations and reaching our full potential. He continues, imagine if we could tap into the full capacity of our brains or harness the power of quantum physics. We could solve problems that seem insurmountable today, like climate change or world hunger. And who knows, we might even develop the ability to teleport or time travel. Terence leans forward, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. But here's the catch. The update is not automatic. We need to consciously choose to evolve, to push past our comfort zones and strive for progress. And that, my friend, is the real evolutionary imperative. He leans back, a satisfied smile on his face. So no, we're not just sophisticated monkeys. We're sophisticated monkeys on the verge of becoming superpowered, enlightened beings. Or at least, we could be if we just hit update. Joe Rogan nods, clearly impressed by Terence's words. So we're just waiting for Humanity 2.0 to finish downloading. Thanks for the heads up, Terence. Well, gentlemen, it's been enlightening. And by enlightening, I mean like a disco ball in a light bulb factory. Let's take a moment to wrap this spiritual burrito we've been cooking up. We started off with Alan Watts, who suggested we should live in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future, but right here. And if you're thinking, wait, isn't that just mindfulness? You're absolutely right. But remember, this comes with a no refund policy, so no take-backsies. Then, our very own Santa Claus of spirituality, Ram Dass, showered us with the power of love and compassion. Not the Huey Lewis kind, mind you. This is the kind of love that makes you want to hug a tree, talk to a squirrel, maybe even recycle. It's all about making the world a better place, one compost bin at a time. And lastly, we had Terence Mckenna, who suggested that our evolutionary imperative is to transcend our current limitations. Now, I'm not sure what he means exactly. Are we talking about sprouting wings, growing an extra brain, or maybe just learning how to use a self-checkout machine without assistance? Either way, it's a tall order. So there we have it. A spiritual trifecta of living in the now, loving like there's no tomorrow, and evolving beyond our wildest dreams. It's been a veritable brain yoga session, and for that I thank you, gentlemen. I also want to give a special shout out to Alan's soothing voice, Ram's twinkling eyes, and Terence's deep resonance. You guys have made this podcast feel like a warm bath, a cozy campfire, and a late-night TED Talk all rolled into one. And with that, we bid farewell to our spiritual trio. Remember, folks, life's a journey, not a destination. Unless you're using GPS, then it's definitely a destination.